to be live.
Let's make sure everybody can hear us. How's everybody doing tonight? Ooh, free beer. Don't mind if I do.
I can hear you. You're good.
All right. Good.
All right.
All right. We are. Oh boy. Sorry, Chrome Dome. It's because you're born, Deacon. Hey there, Mal. All right. So, yeah, for those of you that are just coming back, it's been a while, but we are here because I am trying to do enough Institute missions for them to fork over the good stuff. And then after that's done, I will, next time we view the Institute, or rather the Railroad, I'll probably get some codes out of them. That'll kill them later. Ooh, what do we have here? No more stupid suggestions from you. Just chase off evil killer robots. I think not. This is why I can't stand glory. Conan's dad gets shredded by a dog. What? What gave it away, Deacon? Was it the fact people were shooting at me? Anyone else back here? No? Okay. See, hey, it's spooky season, so what are we going to do tonight? We're going to fight the killer robots. Alright. Let's do the alien blaster. That'll be fun. Yeah, I found better technology than you, Institute, just by hovering around a crash site. How does that make you feel? Get back here. I love it when they melt. Ah, the good stuff. Stupid robots, they ain't got a soul. You hear that, Glory? Oh gosh, they're flirting. Disgusting. Please keep your forms of affection away from me at all times, please and thank you. Please, they're clankers. Clankers. Have to use the hard R on the word clanker. Right. What do we got here? At least Deacon supports my lockpicking habit. Codsworth doesn't like it. The kneecap purple. 20% to cripple. Here is one of my problems with Fallout 4. You make weapons like this. What should we consider a special weapon? A wooden plank that you can use to bonk legs real good. I don't think they thought that through. Most like special weapons aren't really all that special. Oleo. Oh, hello. Oh, that's right. Maybe I should use the deliver since this is a railroad mission. I feel like every single thing is trying to stop me from moving. Alright. Let's go break some legs. Alright. And some other stuff. Are we going to talk about your laser gun? Like the gun of Stitch? Wait. Oh my gosh, it does look like Stitch's gun. I don't know how to process that information, so I'm just going to try and mentally blot it out. And done. It just looks like a wooden sword. Yeah, it's basically just a 2x4 they carved a handle out of. And honestly, I kind of think that's kind of lazy. I mean, it feels like something I'd have in a zombie survival game, not in, a post-apocalyptic setting where I'm allowed to walk around with, nuclear power armor. It's just there's a hole there, and dog meat, don't block me when I'm trying to move around. It's rude. All aboard the cringe train. Ah, crap, I forget how the heck I'm supposed to get through to the main thing. Yeah, that's great. Go away. It's not a matter of stopping, it's a matter of moving you out of the way. Aha! The obvious elevator I completely ignored. Now, going down... Oh good, it's just you and me, dog meat. Those two are driving me crazy. I don't know what to tell you. Aha. Is that right? Here, boys, have a drink on me. Truly, a magnificent hand cannon for the ages. Did he just levitate his baton? Don't hurt my dog. Love it. That's the brightest glow sights I've ever seen in my life. If you could see that from space, that thing is a football field away. Yeah, it's, I don't know why they made it so glowy. You could barely even use it properly as sights. It's so bright. But hey, with the delivery, you just kind of squeeze the trigger button until the problem goes away or you need to reload. Typically, you need to reload first. Shotgun shell, combat rifle, not relevant. Alright, moving on. Let's see, we'll use a frag grenade this time. Oh my gosh, you guys are still alive? Let's see, do I have any missiles left? That I do. Remember, if explosives aren't working, you're not using enough of them. But you called yourself Helter Skelter? Oh, that hurt you even more now. Ah, my hubris! It strikes again. Oh well, at least I know where to go this time. Don't show your ugly pipe concoctions to me, game. Yeah, let me waste some of this ammo. Why am I... What is it with this? Why is it so patchy where I can't even move up here? Hold still. I have to shoot you again. Hey, Lark, do you play For Honor? Or does Raven play it? Raven plays it more than I do. I hop on it occasionally. Believe it or not, I actually got him into For Honor. Because I was the one who discovered the trailer first, and I showed it to Raven back in, like, 2016. I said, this kind of looks cool and up our alleys, and he was like, yeah, it does. And then, the rest is history. We are killing the sense. End of discussion, Glory. But yeah, no, I will still occasionally play For Honor. It's just I have a lot on my plate, so I typically don't pull it out. But I do play it every now and again. Typically, if there's a new hero or a new game mode or something, I jump on. If you want me to get on For Honor again, though, the quickest way the developers can do that is just bring back the Jormungandr event. I love that game mode. Gosh, the recoil. I'm sorry, Dogmeat, I didn't mean to shoot you, but the recoil again. Oh, I blew through all the ammo. That's a surprise. Let's see what to use this time. I was using you to good effect. Huh, ironic. So that's why he's in an abusive relationship. No, the abusive relationships with Dead by Daylight. And melted. Glorious day. Have some mac and cheese and a blood bug steak, and I'd be good to go. For Honor, Bone Raid is pretty fun. You should try it with Raven. I fully plan to, but it had been a bit since we had done a Fallout stream, and so we both agreed we should probably bring that back, lest I forget that we even do it. Now, melt for me. Perfect. Gone. Reduced to atoms. As all things should be. Post-apocalyptic budget for bullet status? Yes. I'm playing the new event, and how do the devs expect us to beat the boss without feats? It can be done. I've seen Raven do it. It's just going to be a chore. You got to time your executions properly, and you have to coordinate with your team. If you do not work with your team, you are going to have a rough time. Let's hope we get something better than a board this time. Alright, his mutation is out of the way. How does something synthetic mutate? They gotta answer that. How does this mutate? Oh. Take 15% less damage and not moving. Gosh, that's a worthless perk. It's like, yes, please come over here so I can whack you. That is so dumb. Like, I think the problem is, it is so dumb, it cannot comprehend how dumb it actually is. Money? Thank you. First, quick save, because I don't want to have to go through that again. The boss is the hardest part. Oh, I agree, the boss is probably the hardest. No problem you can't solve with a nuke, now you're thinking. Bonkwood Part 2. I mean, the previous one was better. Hey, boys! Catch. Super Ingenious Institute. What do? We made an android and we gave it a stick. Notice how you didn't help, Deacon. Yoink! You have stick, very good. Yeah, but they have small stick. They could have had big stick. Big stick better than small stick. Or at least I have been led to believe. Unless you're gonna do like something like a Screama or something. Nothing a little bit high explosives can't fix. Yeah. Ah! Charge point blank at me when I'm shooting stuff with a rocket launcher. Great strategy for everybody involved. Again, how the heck did they survive so long with these stupid androids? Report back to Desdemona. No, we're killing everything. Oh, but it's still got some blowback there. I keep on hurting myself. Wonder what that says about me. Just pop some medics to make sure that don't happen again. What can we level up? Hammer, big stick? Yes. Well, Shat says a stick is better than nunchucks. A stick is better than nunchucks. Sweet, rank 3 gun mods? Don't mind if I do. Helter Skelter. 2 world wars. I rest my case. 7.62 rounds. Ooh, don't mind if I do. Alright, we've taken care of Synths and Raiders. Why can't I send a bunch of guys down here to like sort of set up a town down here? Makes no sense not to. Hey Lark, did you hear that Magic the Gathering is doing a Marvel crossover? I did now! And considering how they handled Lord of the Rings, I don't want them to touch another IP. Though I thought the next IP they were going to be touching was Jurassic World, which I don't know how they'll screw it up, but I don't exactly have a great deal of faith in Marvel or Wizards of the Coast. Am I a fan of Mortal Kombat? No. Not that I dislike Mortal Kombat. I actually like some of the, I'll occasionally watch clips of if there's any cool heroes. I watch people play with Rambo, RoboCop, Spawn, that sort of thing, because I think it's cool, but those types of fighting games, I am not good at. Raven says he's not big into them, but he's okay at those kind of games, mechanically speaking. He can hold his own. I cannot. My fighting game knowledge and experience is playing Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube when I was waiting for my orthodontist appointment. That is my fighting game repertoire of experience. I do not do well in those games, and it's just not my thing. I like the lore. I think a lot of the character designs are cool, and I like how they've included stuff I saw that they have Omni-Man in the new one. I think that's hilarious. Seeing a ninja get the crap beat out of him by mustached evil Superman is kind of fun. But it's just not something I'm going to spend money on. But I get why it's popular. Doctor Strange is going to have a field day with this. What? If after the bombs go off Fallout, does that mean the bomb is fallen? What? That's why I don't play For Honor. I don't do well with fighting games. Well, I could do a little bit better with For Honor, because there's a third dimension to it. But 2D fighting games, I'm awful at, because so much of that is knowing every character, knowing what combos work, knowing how to do it. I remember seeing a fight between two the world's best Street Fighter champions, and seeing them go at it, basically practically mirror each other, and I thought, there is no way in hell I could do anything along those lines. But in For Honor, since there's 3 dimensions, I can still have a good time playing against bots. I can still have a good time. Even PvP, I'll just run Raider, go completely smooth brain, and though I may not win, I will still have a few kills under my belt, because smooth brain Raider play is a legitimate strategy. And what did you say, Drummer Boy? I wasn't paying attention because you're irrelevant. They have Alien and Jason Voorhees in Mortal Kombat. Oh, I heard.
The route's been cleared. H222 is safe to move.
I know. I already got it here. Operational security or communications cost?
What operational security? Oh, yay.
Get it all worked out.
The crisis is over for now. Take this.
Ballistic weave? Ballistic... Oh, stealth boys. I guess that's... I guess that's okay.
Really want the freedom. I'm sad.
Yes, I make poor life choices, railroad agent. Please tell me you have the ballistic weave.
Hey, I got everything you field agent types.
Ballistic weave. Now.
I don't need anything.
You got it. You got it.
Nice talking to you too, jackass. Alright, do you have the ballistic weave?
Damn.
Processing. Major. Listen up. Override was not calculated.
Shh, of course.
Well, I'm here.
Preliminary adjustments to statistical models complete. Commencing
You know you've already given me missions.
You're just a broken machine.
Completely goes over his head. Or her head. Mm-hmm.
But you didn't predict me coming.
That's correct. Caution. Biological life forms behave erratically, unpredictably.
So you're explaining why you're worthless. What I'm hearing is Dragon Ball Xenoverse and the Ultimate Ninja Storm series would be up your alley, at least thing. I played the crap out of Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2. I loved those games. I wasn't like great at them, but you did not have to be great at Xenoverse 2 to enjoy it. I enjoyed making my own characters and having them fight people from the Dragon Ball Z universe.
I have no use for faulty predictions.
I genuinely will have like sometimes find excuses just to re-download Xenoverse 2 just because I enjoy doing that sort of thing. Now, the Ultimate Ninja Storm, I have played before. I have trouble getting into it just because a lot of it follows the Naruto story, and after a certain point, I really do not care about the Naruto story. Falls off hard for me just because my brain nitpicked it too much, and also I got very tired of the direction of Naruto going, I will abandon everything for Sasuke Senpai, even though he was a piece of shit. But that's a rant for another time. I use the mod that allows player to upgrade all types of armor to make it stronger in the late game. Nice. My general's armor has like 200 damage resistance. Yeah, I have that mod too, and I would love to use it so I can slap ballistic weave on there, but for some reason this asshole won't give it to me.
The boys are working on some new toys.
I'll take a look.
Okay, here's what I got.
Do you have anything resembling ballistic weave? I hate you. Words cannot describe how much I hate you. Oh, maybe I gotta do Randolph Safe House 2. Let me upgrade my weapons first before I go shove my head in a blender. Hey, Lark, if Fallout did a crossover, what would you think of a crossover with Jurassic Park would be cool? They probably couldn't do a crossover with Jurassic Park just because Jurassic Park takes in a timeline that is closer linked to our world. You could have something heavily inspired, like they take references from like Terminator, Blade Runner, and Fallout, so they can make a reference to something like that. You could have like radioactive dinosaurs pop out and just have like, oh, it was a crazy Voltec experiment or something of the like, and it would fit in seamlessly. You wouldn't necessarily need it to be a crossover, but you could do that. Ad Victoriam indeed. I'll keep it like that for now. Combat barrel wooden stock. Alright. How about you? Can we upgrade you? Wait. I'm out of screws? Oh, right, because it does this sometimes. Resources. Miscellaneous. Don't tell me I'm out of screws again. Alright, anyway. Do you ever play with Strong? I've saved Strong in one playthrough. And I've never really been a big fan of Strong. He just doesn't really do it for me. Just... I prefer hanging out with other people. Just the way it is, I'm afraid. Now, let's get you fixed up. .5mm advanced lower receiver. So, oh gosh, if only I could produce 7.62 rounds. Basically, fantasy version of Jurassic Park. More like even bonker, like 1950s pulp comic version of Jurassic Park. What crossover would you like Fallout to do? That would be... Fallout works best as its own sort of standalone thing. Because it deviates itself so way. If you're going to have crossovers, I would want it to be with something that sort of matches the theme and the setting. Like sort of like a Flash Gordon, if you will. Where, because this is very much extrapolated from like 40s and 50s view of how science fiction and the future would look like. And so if you try to match something with, like, say, cyberpunk, where the technology takes completely different routes, it wouldn't mesh as well. Whether Javik will grow on me? I would probably need to actually play a little bit more of him to see if I would get along with him or not. And I have yet to play Mass Effect 3. So I couldn't tell. Sticker? Do you have any sticker? No? Shame. No paint either? That's just a bummer. Combat barrel. No. Alright, so that's upgraded about as well as it can be for the time being. Now we can upgrade a little bit more. Short barrel, no need for an extended barrel. Suppressor glow sights. Yep. Upgrade you. Yes, don't mind if I do. I don't think I can do anything past, like, Gunnut 2. Hey, Lark, did you even know that for Honor you can get an event boss outfit for Zanhu? No glitch required. Apparently, like, Raven's already gotten it. However, apparently it was like a glitch and they took it away now. And I'm not happy about that because that was cool. That's one of those things that you shouldn't take away. It's like, oh, we goofed. You know what? Have fun with it. Because it's harmless to keep in the game. So let people have fun with it. No need to try and, be a Debbie Downer and try and take it away. Alright, 11. Oh yeah, I still have this. Why do I still have this? I don't need that. Oh, that's right, I have a stub nose. We're going with the bull barrel because we want a real range gun. Nah, I'm keeping the scope off. It just doesn't look right otherwise. Alright, anything else that needs to be upgraded? Nope. I guess I'll make some more ammo, and then I can worry about doing the next railroad mission and hope and pray that they give me what I need. Also, are there any settlements that need my help? No, we're still good. You could still get it an hour ago. Okay, good. So maybe maybe that was just some people panicking. There's also Rise of the Darkspark, but less said about that dumpster fire, the better, huh? How hard can a fighting game with multiple IPs be created? How hard can a fight? Like, how hard is it in concept to do, or how hard should it be allowed to be made? Because I don't quite know how to answer that question because you can get, like, you can make a fighting game and take characters from anything and have them fight each other. Like Warner Brothers did that with their thing where they had Steven Universe and Shaggy in the same IP with Bugs Bunny and were thrown in for good measure. So sky's the limit. Let's see, can I make 5.56 rounds yet? Oh, glorious day. Excuse me, I need to make one more edit. Because now that I can use 5.56, I think I can bump up my damage up on my assault rifle. You said you played the shit out of Xenoverse 1 and 2. What was it? What was the first character you made? I wouldn't be surprised if it... Oh, it was Saiyan. As soon as I heard I could make a custom Saiyan go Super Saiyan, it was over. Yeah. I made a Saiyan called... I gave him a regular name first, but then I gave him a Saiyan name. I called him Neon, as a pun of onion. Because both Raven and I had come up with, like, sort of our fan theories of, our fan fictions of Super Saiyans. I actually came up with a sort of a fan theory for where the first Super Saiyan, or rather Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God came from. That's what I spent my time on when I was a freshman in college. As you can see, time well spent. Basically the worst Cybertron third-person shooter with transport is a part of the line continuity. That's a thing? Are you ever going to play Cities Skyline 2? Maybe. I played City Skylines 1. I wasn't really wowed by it. But that's just because in city simulators, I never do it properly. For some reason, I always, and I mean always, like, I'll start building, I'll set up everything, and on paper it looks like everything should be growing, and yet the city refused to grow in the way that it's supposed to grow. And so, I don't know. Not to mention, considering it's a Paradox game, I know they're going to nickel and dime me for DLC. Because that is how the Paradox game do. Hey, Lark, did you hear that there's a King Kong game that's now considered worse than Gollum? That's impressive. You gotta actively try to be worse than Gollum. And you have giant gorilla smashing things. How do you make a game about a gorilla smashing things unentertaining? All you had to do was try to basically style it off of like the old Godzilla game where it was basically you had monsters fighting. That's all you had to do. That was step one. And you failed. Hold on. Aha! One of them Louisiana mosquitoes. That'll teach you to exist. There's more, aren't there?
Wait there.
Oh, crap. Hold on. I sense a small smell of danger. I hear him, but I don't see him. It's the Phantom Skeeter. The ones you can't find but hear are always the worst. What do they do with my boy Kong? Lark basically describes life as the president of China while playing SimCity. Well, China knows dang well what its problem is. The problem is it is producing more homes than people can actively afford, but they're doing it to make sure that they have enough people to stay on the books and stay employed, so otherwise their economy will crash. Their economy is almost entirely reliant on the construction sector. Yeah, what's funny is if you listen to this game, like when you go into the vault in the subway, they mention, one of the ghouls mentions how it was just a union job to keep people on the books. It was never expected to go anywhere. That describes a good deal of China's construction projects, and that's another reason why they can get away with having such large construction projects being made of such substandard material, because they don't expect a large number of them to actually be used. And the thing is, they can't keep this up in perpetuity, and that's why some people are saying China has lost its chance to be a world superpower this century. I'm not sure about that. They could pull it. I think they could have a pretty good recovery in a couple decades, but it's going to take some time. Back off, Radstag. I'm already carrying enough schmeat. City Skylines wasn't made by Paradox Lark. They're just the publisher. Yeah, even then, I have doubts. Like, listen, I bought Vampire the Masquerade, not the game. I mean, I do have that. But, like, the actual tabletop game. And that was produced by Paradox. And I have several qualms about that. Someone the gaming sphere really hits out just for is Peter Jackson and or Andy Serkis. Yeah, Andy Serkis is a great actor. I don't think I've seen him in anything that I went, you know, I really don't think he did well. Clear hostiles at Poseidon Reservoir. What's up, dude? Keep your personal belongings wherever the hell you want. Sir, yes, sir. Aggressive robots, but why did I go all the way over here then? Maybe I'm just an idiot. Alright. No. You just need to make it about Rampage. An old arcade game about giant monsters wreaking havoc on City Skylines. I can't remember what it was called, but like there was a city simulator, I think it was like Sim City for the Wii. And I would purposely just pull up model cities just so I could drop nukes and meteors on it. Because destroying things was always more fun to me than building things, at least in my youth. But I enjoy both things. Leggett Lenny, China will fall. China's facing severe demographic crisis too. I don't think they'll ever be a superpower. I always hesitant to rule out China because it may take them a couple decades to centuries, but China, historically speaking, has bounced back from a lot. So I don't want to rule them out, though their current regime leaves a lot to be desired. Any more ghouls want to be taught a lesson? Gunner's no 308 round, don't mind if I do. Maybe China could have done better if they had leased their workers to other countries, build cities for them. I wouldn't trust the CCP, but still, yeah, that wouldn't do it. Leasing workers of that scale, they wouldn't want to do that. There's a lot of problems with the Chinese economy that can be traced back to poor government management and not letting things happen organically. There's only so much central planning can do, and great works can keep people in the books for a while, but it's an artificial thing. There was even a giant gorilla rampage, so it's more of an open and shut case. You keep talking about cities being destroyed by giant gorillas, and you keep getting my attention. If that was your desired goal, then I'm all for it. Well, that's when they had people, Lark. If they have no people, there's no recovery. Listen, I know their population's probably going to go on decline because of the child policy and all that jazz, but there's over 1 billion Chinese people. I'm willing to bet that even with a little bit of population decline, there's still going to be some Chinese people running around at the end of the day. Though, from what I said, in the next 20, 30 years, India is projected to overtake them in population. And I think it's King Kong's 90th anniversary. Really? 90 years? Oh gosh, I wonder what they're going to do on the 100th. They're going to do something absolutely wonky. The music's cutting out here and there. That's not good. That means there's danger. Also, China did a thing about them making the electric car, but the cars are cheaply made so they catch fire really easily. A YouTuber who does a good video covering it is Serpent's Up. Alright, I may have to check that out, but again, that's why typically you don't see a lot of Chinese made cars. They typically make parts more than anything else. There's a drawback to cheap manufacturing. They have to cut corners somewhere. And certain things like electric cars you do not want to buy on the cheap. But then again, I'm not big into buying electric cars anyway. Because one thing that, somebody pointed this out to me, and I've never liked the idea of electric cars since then. If you have an all-electric car that's battery operated, computer, remote driving, if someone doesn't like you, let's say the government doesn't like you, imagine getting a warrant to say hey, you can't drive your car to work. Or if we have implemented a social credit system, I'm sorry, you've irritated so many people, you are not allowed to drive your car. It's no. I don't like that, and I know those laws would be considered unconstitutional, but how long would it takes time for the legal process to work, and I like having the freedom of being able to just fill up my car with gas and just going. Between Disney, Warner Brothers, and Kong, it's been a terrible year for anniversaries. Jurassic Park was the only decent one here. Jurassic Park was the decent one. Oh man, that is sad. Zombies. Why did it have to be zombies? Hope Elf's 20th anniversary is better. I would be very scared if they just leave it alone. Just say, hey, 20 years ago we had Elf. Wasn't that great? And leave it at that. You don't have to do anything else. But they're going to try and do something. Why is it sad? Just Jurassic Park is it should be very easy to crank something out. Like, it's really all, the draw of Jurassic Park is dinosaurs. You like dinosaurs, you like Jurassic Park. That's what it's all about. And so people can still find a way to make Jurassic Park bad. Now, I'm not saying the most recent stuff with Jurassic Park is per se bad, but it's kind of sad if the only thing that's hitting the okay mark is what should be clear. There should be just, sort of clear in the runway with how easy it should be to entertain. Rip Kong, he didn't have the boy's birthday party like that. Like, yeah, there's the thing though. Like King Kong on paper should be easy to sell. We have Big Gorilla. It goes smash thing. We even have Kong fight Big Lizard. And you know what happened? Everyone who saw that movie about King Kong fighting Godzilla and then some other crap happened, everyone had a blast. Why? Because monsters killing each other is fun. And there's a big problem, I think, with a lot of pseudo-intellectuals online and on media trying to analyze, like, why do people like X? Like, maybe because it's fun, you humorless cows. Like, me and Raven were just watching a video by Wisecrack with the intention to respond to it about talking about the recent craze of, like, why does everybody like the Roman Empire? Why does everybody think about it? Because it's cool. Because the Rome was cool, and we enjoy learning about things that are cool. Like, why do people like watching this movie about a giant lizard and a giant gorilla fighting each other? Because it's awesome. You don't need a PhD to look at monsters fighting on a screen and go, damn, that's cool. But yet, for some reason, they have to psychoanalyze, like, why do men think about the Roman Empire? Because it's cool. Sometimes that's just where it ends. I mean, you could argue there's more to it with Rome, but for most people, they just think, man, those Roman legions were cool. Man, it's impressive that they lasted as long as they did. There's some people. You touch the dog, you die. Deacon, quit flapping your gums and start shooting, and you'll notice they drop dead much quicker. There you go, buddy. Let's see if Godzilla does better next year. I hope so. As long as they just remember, we don't need any, like, super dramatic thing. I don't want them, like, to just crank crap out after crap out, like with the Transformers movies, because you do need some substance, but you don't need to be, you don't need to write something incredibly profound. Like, I don't expect my summer action blockbusters to have the same writing level as, say, something like Hamlet, but I do expect just a little bit of effort and a lot of fun. That's what gets people going. Like, there's a lot of movies out there that don't have, like, mind-blowing scripts, but are fun just because they're fun, dumb action movies. Like, what, Battlefield Los Angeles? It's like, oh, the Marines are fighting a conventional war in LA against some random aliens. That's stupid. Was it fun, though? Absolutely. I disarmed the scale. No longer shall it tell me I'm fat. I can tell myself I'm fat, thank you very much. And what else was I doing in here? Oh, I have to go down there. The hell is the door switch? But Godzilla had to my boy Kong after that. Yeah, I was Team Godzilla through that. No disrespect to King Kong, but giant nuclear lizard gonna win every time. And I've always enjoyed dinosaurs. And yes, I know Godzilla's a dinosaur. It's like some weird iguana thing, but dinosaur fun. Database line security door control. Here we are. Open the door. Didn't even have to hack into it. Nice. Just quick save, because I know some crap's going to be coming. The 1954 Godzilla movie is one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. It's a genuine masterpiece. Oh, yeah. There's something to it also about watching old movies, and you kind of, like, it's not, it doesn't hold up, like, with, like, the same effects that we have nowadays, at least for the most part. But there's something, like, sort of almost magical about it. I mean, I swear, you're using more stim packs than I am. Can he recover by like me giving him kibble? I think that'd be important. Dang it. I need to upgrade my line picking. Out of the way. I saw one person who was really butthurt that King Kong lost. What you expect was going to happen? Like, he's a big gorilla versus a giant lizard that can breathe radioactive fire. I think he's got it made. Not to mention Godzilla just is a larger franchise and fan base, so he's got that going for him too. I know it's more meta, but still. If it makes you feel any better, I would root for King Kong over someone like, Gamera. Because radioactive turtles just aren't as cool if they're not named after Renaissance masters. I don't make the rules. That's just the way it is. Lark, you spoiled me. I saw a ton of people who were sore winners against Kong. Oh yeah, there's that too. Because, well, the internet has to ruin just about everything. And what am I... Did I find what I was... What did I even come in here for? Just to clear out hostiles? They weren't even bothering anyone. But Big Monkey. He's not even a real monkey. He's a gorilla. They're apes. They're not monkeys. But monkey is funnier to say, so fair enough. That statement hurt because I know that with the right people and the right... Oh, gosh. Deacon wants to emotionally bond. Gross. Hold on, I'm too sober for this conversation to continue. For good luck. Ah, that's better. Sorry, I'm seeing orcas shooting lasers with kittens on their back, so I don't care what you have to say, Deacon.
Do you really think I'm gonna fall for this?
I assume that's just because she's incompetent. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, why did you have to die so quickly? Powerful. Does 25... Okay, I guess that's not terrible. Were you still talking that whole time? Oh gosh, now he's starting over. No. Hey Lark, I sent you a video about electric car in China catching on fire. It's an Ask Raven. Got it. But the thing is, Kong defeated Godzilla in the 1960s. Yeah, they both, before the last movie, had opportunities where they fought each other and won. But like Godzilla just progressively kept getting bigger. And so it is very much hard for Kong to overcome that. But am I still happy that they fought? Absolutely. Where's Raven? Raven went to go take care of some stuff. So you might have saved sense. Doing good has yet to be proven.
You lied to me at least once. This is just more of the same. Yeah, you got it. But remember these surprises. There's other organizations out there, and in time, I'm sure they're going to split each other up.
I know, I work for the railroad. I'm used to dealing with bullshit. You're not making a great case for your organization, Deacon.
So what's the railroad's deal? We're not about saving the world.
Because you suck. No long-term plan, or goal, or solution. Good to know, worthless and weak. Oh, don't you worry. Do not worry. I will make the right choice. Now, whether or not you agree that's the right choice, that is a story for another time. Now, please, for the love of all that is holy, give me my ballistic wave. So, like, do you think Raven will do a response video about the Wisecrack video of why men think of Rome? More than likely, he'll do it. We haven't finished the video, but with what we've seen, his whole video boils down to not answering the question why people think of Rome, but talking about historically people, why they've thought of Rome, and sort of shaming them for, like, they're not looking at the full picture. Because only Wisecrack is allowed to go around and cherry pick historical data for their own purposes. And once again, the only reason it's like, why do people think about Rome? One, it's cool. Two, it was long lasting, and there's a lot of cool historical events that happened because of Rome. And not to mention, there's a lot of larger than life characters in Roman history, kingdom, republic, or an empire. So it makes sense that people would be drawn to such a long period of history. And to quote Enemy at the Gates, men need their heroes. And though you may argue, like, well, the Roman Republic wasn't actually virtuous, you can still look at Cincinnatus and be marveled by the fact that a man had absolute power, and he gave it up. That is remarkable to me. And you can have great heroes like Aurelian, who, despite all the odds against him, he still managed to do the impossible. But no, you have to apparently be a psychopath or some sort of dictator wannabe to enjoy Rome. Because instead we should spend our time watching Wisecrack videos and listening to random French philosophers that are objectively wrong on a lot of what they believe in. Why is there just a typewriter here? Oh crap, I just a Tinker Tom, a solid. Ugh, I feel unclean. Anyway, Tom, please tell me you have my stuff. Also, a lot of other empires wanted to be the next Rome. Of course, because the grandeur of Rome is nothing.
Not interested. You got it.
Alright. I have a theory that I've gotten it already, and they just haven't told me about it. Let me try talking to you first. Good. Nothing out of you. Now let's talk to you. Alright, where's Carrington? Cincinnati was a massive Giga Chat. Oh, absolutely. Moments before disaster. Where's Carrington? Did Carrington die? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. No, making myself too happy. Carrington. Oh, Carrington. My goodness. He's gone. We've made Carrington disappear. Oh, happy day. Unfortunately, I need to see him. Thanks for the liquor, I guess. Let's see. I think men think about Rome because they see some parallels to our civilization, Rome and its fall. That's part of it, and Wisecrack does bring it up, but they sort of knock the idea down. Like, it's not foolish for someone to look at Rome at its fall and go, there's some warning signs here that every civilization should look out for. Because then they'll think about, history repeating itself. If you recognize a pattern in history and recognize your civilization's making a mistake, it's not a bad idea to say, this happened bad in the past, let's try and course correct so we don't do that. So, let's see. No, I feel comfortable talking to you about that. Alright, let me go and wait. I don't have to go anywhere. I can just look at the armor bench here. Where? Shut up. Do we not have an armor's workbench here? Oh, there it is. I'm just an idiot. Alright, let's see. They do not appear to have it. Like, if you made a rank list for the best empires, Rome would be number one every time, without fail. Check the back towards the back door. The thing is, Lark, history rhymes rather than repeats itself. Even the average Joe lives better than the Roman Empire noble. For the most part, that is true. Alright, I already found Carrington. I don't need to do it again, but it irritates me that... Let me try talking to Tom one more time. Do I have any other real road missions that I'm not setting up meal? Oh gosh. Okay, for the sake of my own sanity, I'm going to help out. I'm going to help out my boys. Then I'll go back to doing the railroad missions. Let me get Preston or somebody I actually want to work with. But yeah, I do agree with it. Like, I think one person best described history as operating in sort of a spiral. It takes similar pathways, but things sort of expand out and change. I will later. Nope, Ronnie, not ready to talk to you. I need to get rid of this deacon. Is he still at Sanctuary Hills? We gotta fix that. Oh, we gotta start spreading artillery all over. Personally, I would consider Persia and Mongol strong contenders for that role. Depends on which Persia we're talking about, because there's multiple Persian empires. If you're talking about like not the Sassanids, like the Achaemenians, they're definitely a strong contender. They were a very strong and very influential empire. So I would definitely include them. No wonder I'm overweight. Store all junk. That helps. Skips it. Yeah, I'll store my Sentinel board there. Vintage bayonet can stay because it's cool. The Poisoner's Gamma gun. Nah. I'm not a Gamma guy, what can I say? Alright. Okay, let's see. I'm curious as to why Arabs raised Carthage, as there isn't much info on it after 698. I'm not 100% sure why they raised Carthage either. I mean, it was I mean, historically speaking, raising Carthage is a popular thing to do. It's also a big shipyard, honestly. You want to use the shipyards to do that. But then again, maybe they were afraid Carthage might fall out of their hands again, so they want to make sure nobody could use it against them. There are plenty of possibilities. Oh, that's right. I originally came here to try and get rid of Deacon. My priorities keep getting out of order. I would choose the one under Cyrus. That's the Achaemenian Persians. Hey, who wants to help me fight a giant robot? It's 11:04. How come nobody's going to bed? Ah, Preston. There you are. I was kind of hoping to find... yeah, whatever. You'll do. Yeah, why don't you come with me, buddy?
Hey, Codsworth.
Where the heck? No.
Not now.
Yeah, I'm clearly not looking at Codsworth. Why do you think I won? That's great. That's great. I want you to come with me, Preston. Preston! Go ahead. Those doubts aren't unfounded. Sturgis. See, bonding moments with Preston I can live with. Bonding moments with Deacon, harder to swallow. Yeah, because the railroad sucks! I'm sorry. At least it wasn't Ezra Bridger. That would have been an entirely different franchise. But hey, we get that crossover we've been looking for. Rome is the most influential in the world. Rome is the most influential, but Persia did have its own good deal of influences too. So I wouldn't put Persia's number one, but Persia's definitely top five.
There was a lot I didn't see, no one else to pay attention to. You know, politics and rivalries and bad blood between different groups. Yes, General Becker was able to keep a lid on it, keep everyone more or less on the same team. But after he was killed, it all came out in the open. Couldn't believe it.
The fall of the organizations.
He was supposed to fulfill duties before we had anything else. Probably that was pretty naive, huh?
Naive, yes, but hopefully optimistic, and I find that kind of charming because you kind of need people that have sort of like the naive optimism, like I want to make an organization that much of a Boy Scout organization. So I can't hate Preston for this. So Lark, which 40k faction do you think is most likely to recruit a faction of the Fallout universe into its ranks? Forced conscription counts when applicable. The Imperium would probably look at the Fallout world as a death world, and they would be happy to recruit, like, the Brotherhood of Steel. I don't think they would have a problem. Like, the Mechanicum would actually probably agree with them on a few things. They'd force them to change a few of their doctrinal differences, and, oh, right, I was recruiting you. Yeah, follow me, dude.
I need your help. I'm with you.
Dang right you are. Get told, Deacon. Get told. Oh, gosh, Preston. I love you for that. Glorious. Absolutely wonderful. And that is why Preston is superior. But yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel would definitely get recruited into the Imperium. They'd probably be they might try and make them into an Imperial Guard regiment, sort of like how you have like the Harakoni Warhawks, which specialize in drop pods. You have these sort of armored warriors as a special Imperial Guard regiment. They'd probably find it like that. Hopefully they'd upgrade their power armor a bit. But yeah, the Imperium would have no problem recruiting people from the Fallout world. The Tau also wouldn't have an issue with it. The Eldar, they don't like working with the Monkai unless they absolutely have to. Hey Ronnie, how you doing? The Dark Eldar, they do some crazy experiments and look at Vault-Tec and go, you think your experiments were bad? I've earned that right, Ronnie. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Gotta fix something. There we go. Fix the problem. All right, Ronnie, what were you saying? I was away for a second. The Tyranids would love Fallout. Oh yeah, that'd be a quick snap, but we're talking about people that would actively recruit them. I guess you could say the Gene Stealers. Yeah, Preston, how come you never talked about her? Yeah, where were you? You didn't help out with the Quincy Massacre. You let people die. So, how can I help you? One, I do, and I overrule everybody else.
The Commonwealth needs the Minutemen. We've got to realize that.
Maybe.
We could probably find a use for you.
Oh. Nothing hits like having the castle walled up a few robot armored Minutemen with 6 crank bits and squads of Minutemen from flare gun boosted numbers fighting off Institute gunner attacks. Oh, absolutely. Recruiting, eating, what's the difference? Well, one is gaining manpower, the other one is gaining resources. I'm curious on how the republics went from aristocratic like Venice or Carthage to what we have now. Well, one could argue that aristocrat. Hold on, do I have to talk to you? That's great. But yeah, some would argue that republics today are still sort of aristocratic. But the thing is, though, like Carthage, Venice, early Rome, and like places like the Netherlands, they were small republics, and they sort of endeared themselves to the idea of an aristocracy. So they would have these. Basically, they didn't want to, these aristocracies. Basically, had several noble families, and none of these noble families really wanted to have a king ruling over them, and none of them knew they had the political sway to take the spot of king. So they all basically agreed we're going to share power as a republic. However, America was kind of revolutionary because it was the first republic since Rome that tried to model and have a republic where it wasn't just an aristocracy in charge. Get out of my room. Ronnie, you holding us up. I'm surprised with the Minutemen don't focus on volley fire tactics anymore, especially with single shot las rifles. I think it'd be super effective against most forces. Perhaps, but a lot of forces like the gunners and super mutants, they have automatic weapons, and so doing volley fire from without legitimate cover, not a recipe for success. Now, I'm curious, anyone has painted Space Marines in the color of the Brotherhood of Steel. Sounds like something that would be done by now. Oh, that'd be great. All you need is like a blue metallic paint, and you could go crazy. Or now a little bit of a metallic and some orange. Heck, I just got some Space Marines. I might do that for one of them or something. That might be fun. Yeah, Ronnie, you go first. Crap. Got it. You guys okay? Oh no. Oh shoot. That it is. Oh no. Sarge! I forgot about Sarge. Alright, you boys have fun. I solved the problem. Shame we couldn't reprogram Sarge. That'd be a fun companion. Though we can build a Sarge. We can find a way. Nice. Oh, good. Recover my missile supply. Hey Lark, have nunchucks been used in real battle? Probably not. Nunchucks are more of a sort of a The most realistic thing they've been used for has been training. They're good for tools as like training how to focus. However, most martial art masters worth their salt that use nunchucks in training will tell you the best way to to hurt the enemy with nunchucks is to hand them over to them. They're used to like train how to handle with focus and how to like balance a weapon and stuff like that. You don't actually take them into combat. And don't mind if I do. And now to put on the proper uniform. Where are you? Where are you? I know you. There it is. Yeah, we be dripping, boys. By the way, for those of you that are classic literature lovers, there is actually a reference to Edgar Allan Poe's Cask of Amontillado right here, with all the wine in this room and this man being put behind bricks. Nice little Easter egg. Las Musket doesn't make a whole lot of sense for later game Minutemen. We can build effective artillery pieces in 2 people, but well, they can't open some military crates. It's a shame, I tell you, a crying shame. Make him better than before. Oh. I may have to remake Cornbot. Cornbot was one of my favorite inventions in my last playthrough. Now I'm going to save my beer. Sugar bombs. Whiskey, that'll do it. Lark, would the laser weapons in this game hold up to Warhammer 40k? Or do you think they would actually be better than the Guardsman Shooter? No, absolutely not. The las gun is actually very good. The reason why the las gun is a flashlight is because the las gun has to go against some of the most insane nonsense in the galaxy. A las gun would be super effective against things in the Fallout universe and in modern universe. Not to mention the fact that the las gun's charge packs can be charged by throwing them into a fire, just keeping them next to your body heat. That's not good for it, but you can do it that way. So the las gun is an incredibly useful tool, can punch holes through most types of modern armor. The only weapon that from the Fallout universe that might be useful would be something like the Gauss rifle. But the laser rifle that we have, I don't think is superior to the Guardsman las gun. Will you make a new Lamentation soon? Probably not soon, because here's the thing. I'm currently doing the Vanderlyn gang. Red Dead 2 is a very long game, and I'm trying not to miss as much as possible because I need to talk about each individual member of the gang to talk about where things went wrong. So the Vanderlyn, that's the nature. So that's something you have to choose. If you want Lamentations to come out quickly, you have to consider how quickly will Lark get this done. Because like one of the other options was something like XCOM. I could have knocked XCOM out probably within a month. But something like Red Dead, that takes a while. Now, let's build ourselves some artillery. I have to build some beds here too. Beautiful. Now, who wants to man the big gun? You look like you need a job, son. Well, I just got hit with 40k tactics ahead. Yeah, you did. My apologies if I was pressuring you. Oh, no, it's fine. Trust me. And sometimes I need the pressure, because I'll get distracted by other things, and then Raven will have to go, hey, how's that Vanderlyn project going? And I go, no! And I have to drop what I'm doing and remind myself, hey, you have responsibilities with the Lamentations. But sometimes I have to remind myself, hey, you gotta do stuff. Let's make that there. Let's get a nicer bed. There we go. That's better. bonuses. Talking about your fixer-upper opportunities. Anyway, that only provides 6 defense. You. There we go. That's better. All right, now what do they need me to do? Smoke flares. First things first, though, I need to store some stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be over encumbered very quickly. There. That is better. How would you end 40K? Well, there are several ways in which you could end 40K. You could have one faction sort of undisputedly win, like just have the Tyranids eat everything. I would hate that ending, but you could have it that way. You could have something ridiculous like Chaos win, basically repeat the end times, but for 40K. I would also hate that. But more feasible ideas, one, have the Eldar resurrect or fully awaken Yened, and that allows the forces of order to effectively have a hard counter to Chaos. Another option that might be fun is things get so bad, like the Great Rift gets even bigger, Gilliman and the Lion can't fully keep Chaos and the Tyranids and the Necrons at bay simultaneously. And so the Grand Master of the Grey Knights finally decides they'll activate the Terminus Decree. And they activate it to kill, and it kills off the Emperor, finally, dismantles the Golden Throne. But because of it, it causes such a psychic shockwave back that it basically pushes back Chaos. And so almost sort of resets things back to like the Age of Strife, where no one can use the Warp of Travel. And it's such a Hail Mary that it saves humanity from Chaos and from the Tyranids and from the Necrons, but it costs the Imperium basically, 1, the Emperor, and 2, it isolates everyone again until the Warp finally calms down and back down into a more natural state. And so some planets will survive, some won't, some will slowly starve out, and some will thrive. And it'll be up for the centuries for Gilliman or somebody else to sort of put the pieces back together. I wouldn't be completely content with, but I think that would be a better way to end it than say, Tyranids dom everything, because I really get irritated with Tyranids are the biggest threat in the galaxy, they're just going to eat everything, no. Like, no, I'm sick of Tyranids. I hate Tyranids. I mean, they can be a fun enemy to fight, but I'm sick of them being this, so super scary thing from coming out of the galaxy, and they're going to win everything just because bug eat everything. Nah, I prefer the Necrons to win. Because the Necrons are my favorite Xeno faction. Are you, and you apparently can't fix the walls of the fort, so it's useless for now. Defensive point broken multiple points, Raiders and Gunners, yeah. It's not completely worthless, but yeah, they need to at least try, like, put up some barricades, man. Drag that 18-wheeler and put it in front of us. At least try and patch things up. But, artillery. That is satisfying. Remember, as Napoleon said, God is on the side with the best artillery. Clearly the answer is Caiaphas Cain ascends to godhood, joins the force with the Emperor, and they regain humanity's former glory and crush all who dare oppose the Imperium. Of course! That is the only way, and Jurgen becomes an Imperial Saint. Oh, trust me, I will.
Hey, I'm listening. Hi. Gotta hand it to you. You really turned things around.
Oh, haven't I? I like the way you think there, Preston. She's a tough old broad, but you know what? We need some tough old broads.
Big charge. Ah, that's a bit of an understatement from what I hear. I heard stories about her from Middletown. Still around. The fact that
Oh, she'll never leave. Not while her pension's still in question. You're going to be becoming a saint goes without saying, Lark. Well, I mean, as long as we're in agreement. All right, because Napoleon was an atheist. I'm not sure if he was full-on atheist. He might have been deistic. But then again, considering Napoleon, he was very much an opportunist. He really would have gone with whatever gave him power. But yeah, Napoleon's personal interests don't get me. But the point of his quote was saying, like, don't try and pray for intervention. Like, because there's a quote, God helps those who help themselves. If you're just relying on divine intervention, no. Set things up. Prepare your crops. Prepare your fields to receive rain. Don't pray for rain without actually doing the prep work to receive it. And as much as I love you, Radio Freedom, I'm going to shut you off right now because we have a settlement that needs our attention. It actually makes sense for them if they return in full force, especially since the Eldar and Orcs aren't as strong as they used to be, so I don't think the Imperium can stop them. The Necrons? Oh, absolutely, but there's one thing that you're forgetting about the Necrons. There's multiple different dynasties, and a lot of them hate each other, so that the Necrons in and of themselves sort of check each other. And also, I love the Necrons because Traz in the Infinite is just a silly little goose, and that's just fun.
you're here to help.
You fought off super mutants? Nice.
What's the trouble here? Super mutants came through a few days ago. Only a few of them. They did a lot of damage. I managed to drive them off. It was only a miracle.
Speaking of Napoleon, they're making a movie about him. Saw a trailer and it seemed interesting. Oh yeah, the trailer looked interesting.
Held them off at first.
I'm gonna go see it. I'm very curious to see how they did. But like I saw them pull out the cannons and about to shoot the ice out, and I said, if they can do that, we will be sitting pretty. And of course, you know we have to. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have supply lines set up here. Oh, we're in for it. We are gonna be in for it. Let's see, do we have any gears or oil or anything? Oh dear. Oh, we are in trouble now. Because those super mutants are not going to be forgiving. And I don't have time to run around and go try and find any of the material or set up a supply line. So, Dogmeat, you got stuff for me? No. Well, we do have a fat man. That'll come in handy in the actual fight.
Heads up. Want to swap supplies? No problem.
Please tell me you have some stuff for me. Oh no. Was that the Iron Giant in the background? Maybe. If the Silent King succeeds, they will win, indeed. What do you think of the YouTuber Oversimplified? Oh, I love Oversimplified. I don't agree with everything he says, but like 90% of what he does is amazing. I use him in my classroom because the kids love him, and you know what? So do I. Alright, that gets me some gas, which is good, but I need gears and another bit of oil. Let's see. Country crossing. I think most of my stuff is already there, so maybe I can move over there stupid fast, set up a supply line, come back and build some shit. Every faction the Minutemen at the beginning of the game, every faction at the end of the game, Minutemen screeches up an artillery. Oh, come on! I was trying! Get rid of the thing so I can reload. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's like, hey, you need supplies hey, you need to go find supplies so you can build some defenses. All right, I'm gonna go get those. You failed to build the defenses. I'm trying, dang it. All right, if I can't build the defenses properly, then what I'm going to have to do is head out to see if I can't find any gears or anything like that. Or I can do the incredibly stupid decision. Wait, hold on. Maybe I have some modded stuff that will help. It's a guard post. Oh shoot, here they are! They just all had to have rocket launchers! Boy, am I glad I built cover. Preston, shoot the super mutants! Oh dear. We are in it today. Alright. We did it. But I gotta build these guys some defenses. They are not gonna survive another assault like that. Like, I find Oversimplified Bit with Xanthius really funny. Are you talking about when they did the first Punic War? That was great. He's simple and understandable. Yeah, and he has great jokes. Oversimplified, he is sort of like the pinnacle of history. It kills me. I don't think he's uploaded in like a year. He really needs to, because he said to the guy, I'm going to do the second Punic War. He better. That was glorious.
Hey, pointed it out.
Talk.
What else have you got for me, Preston?
All right, nothing. I don't know what I did to deserve the silent treatment, but very well. Now, let's get to Country Crossing, establish some supply lines. Imagine if Oversimplified did lore like Kings and Generals. Well, that's actually Wizards and Kings? I forget the name of the fantasy channel. But that'd be cool. I'd be down to watch that. But I think the problem is it takes him a long time to do stuff like that. And I think there's a certain level of quality he is expecting of himself now. Looks like you, my friend, want to be an artilleryman. But who am I to knock someone's dreams? Alright, let's see. Should I build them better living conditions? Maybe. Alright. So now we have artillery coverage here, and now we can get these guys some better protection. Hey, Napalm has a quote that explains why he did. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Oh, Napoleon? Well, that explains why he tried to get the Catholics back in charge, but there's more to it than that, but I understand. Considering the Enlightenment philosophy of the time, I understand why he said what he said. I disagree with it heavily, but I understand why. And now let's get a proper... There, that should get them... That should keep them alive for a little bit, but what they need is greater support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build them a little bit of a settlement. Nice beachside property that's going to attract some people. Alright. Let's see. Yep, that's some good place to start. Let's work with you first. Then we also need to get water because no one will move here if they have water. So what I love about the water stuff here is that it's also a desalinant. It's also a desalinator. So it purifies it, gets the salt out. Lovely. Now, we need to build ourselves a settlement recruitment beacon. And now we need to build them something that will stand the test of the next 2 weeks. So we're not exactly asking for much here. But you know, a little bit of a nice beachfront property. You know, gotta say, just because we're the Minutemen doesn't mean we have to slum it per se. There we go. Come on. Hook in there. Hook in there. Okay, fine. Be like that. Sensitive joke. Alright. Now we need... I don't like the way that hooks in, but what are you going to do? I wish Bethesda gave the Minutemen more dialogue in Nuka World, where they talk about doing Minutemen spec quests just so the people could stop accusing them of doing nothing, even though they do off screen. Yeah, I agree. Hey, yeah, Lark. I like to watch Wizards and Warriors too. His Lord of the Rings lore videos. Oh yeah, I've seen some of those. Those are good. Actually, I remember the first one they came out with what was it? I believe the first one was like The Witcher, and that was a pretty good video because it's so good to just sort of see like the armies laid out over a map and see them actually function. It gives you a much better appreciation for how things used to work, both in a fantasy context and otherwise. Nice, simple shack for the kids. Mr. Lark, do you think that of the Epsilon program from Grand Theft Auto? I do not pay enough attention to Grand Theft Auto to tell you anything about it. I honestly think Grand Theft Auto is probably one of the more overrated things that Rockstar produces, because they do have Red Dead Redemption, Bully, and L.A. Noire, but yet all of their attention has been focused on Grand Theft Auto 5 because its online market, makes them so much money. And so from a business perspective, I get it, but to me, it is the one that interests me the least. Like, I think stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2 should be sort of the model for how you handle sort of a genre. But regrettably, a lot of people really like the Grand Theft Auto, and it just doesn't appeal to me. I find the people in the difference is, like, say in Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, you had scum of the earth and people there that sort of fit with the time and the vibe. But you also had good people there. In Grand Theft Auto, so seldom did I find anyone that was good. I felt that the world was hopeless and that nothing was worth fighting for or saving other than my own personal desires of greed. But whereas Red Dead, there was a reason to act with good and valiant. Like Grand Theft Auto, I can run around shooting people without any fear of, any sort of negative moral repercussions. In Red Dead, I know there's the karma system, but I sometimes can't live with myself going around and just shooting random people without quick saving. I'll still do it, but I'm going to feel bad about it in a second. I haven't seen a series proper, but Invicta did some really good fixing Game of Thrones battles. But Bully is probably my favorite from Rockstar, and there's a good reason why Bully has attracted so many people. Alright, now, where... We got 2 more people living here. Where the heck are they? Well, what the heck. Congratulations, you are now an artillery officer. I know you didn't ask for this, but you secretly wanted it. Let's not pretend otherwise. Alright, I have 3 settlements now that have it. Let's go to Taffington Boathouse to make this existence worthwhile. I'm just playing GTA V for the Platinum, that's why I asked. Oh, listen, I'm not going to argue GTA 5 isn't a fun game. I've had fun with it. But I think that it's probably to me, it's probably the least interesting of their franchise. But still, Rockstar does such a good job with their games, even then, I still find it entertaining. Let's see. Who wants to be an artillery officer? You look like you have a hat. You are now promoted. Outstanding. Do I have a settlement recruitment beacon here? Because if not, I need to put up one. There we go. And trust me, because this is such a terrible location to set up shop, everybody and their brother will be moving down here eventually. Alright, 10 Pines Bluff. I need to set up crap there too. I don't like it, it's woke trash. Not everything, but I get where you get that impression. But general, well, I don't know how to use an artillery piece. It's simple. When you see the flare, you go bing, bang, kaboom! And, you know, that's how that works, right? Alright, time to set up some shops here, get some trees out of the way, and we can make things go boom here too. Particularly when they ask us to take out Outpost Zima, having artillery here is going to be such a boon, because there's one raider in power armor that needs to die. And by golly, artillery is just the most spectacular way to make it happen. Alright, perfect. Now let's get out. We need a generator for multiple reasons. And if you're wondering why I keep on building windmills instead of just regular generators, is because I like not having noise. I don't know why, but it's just the way I operate. Also, we're gonna need some more water, which is why I'm gonna make this thing, because I live in defiance of my own creeds. And also because maximum water is a desirable goal. Alright, hopefully that draws some people in. I need to build some more beds for people. But first I need shelter. Prefab. Behold, the levitating house. Call the Mechanicus, and their machine spirits will explain why it works the way it works, okay?
Well, they would.
Indeed. Albozima is usually where I banish the companions I don't want around. For me, I just send them all to the castle so that when the siege comes, I have as many people there as possible.
Well, you would.
Would what?
Worth it.
Worth it indeed.
So, sorry I'm back so much later.
That's okay. You had things you had to do. I get it. Or do I? So I got all the games with guns. Which one do you think is the most satisfying reload animations to you? Satisfying reload
I
animations.
feel like Call of Duty has some really good ones.
Battlefield 1 in particular, reload like particularly with the stripper clips.
The stripper clips, huh? Are those provocative?
to the gun lover that I am. Yes.
Oh yeah, them stripper clips, bro.
Ma'am, you need to clean yourself up before I let you around high explosives. Where's your you have a mustache. You're qualified to work heavy artillery equipment. Perfect. I'm filling out the map to make sure that we can blow stuff up real good. Okay, so Taffington Boathouse. Starlight Drive-In, they need some. Hold on, boys. That chat went down on my thing. I need to pull it back up. There we go. Chat is back. I love calling in Minutemen squads and calling down artillery, though I often find myself praying a Minutemen don't go rushing into the barrage. Yeah, that's the great part. Now, Minutemen, charging! No, wait for the artillery! No, they want to be Kriegers! Oh, I love your spirit, but your stupidity hurts me. Well, hurts you. You get what I mean.
Indeed.
Son, are you bored? Do you need something to do in life? Why can't I click on you? Weird. Oh, well, we'll find... Son, get rid of that green rag hat, so help me. I'm going to have a long talk with that boy. I don't know why, but I always put it up here, because it pleases me.
This pleases your pa.
First of all,
I wanted to short
you're dang right you wanted to give it a try. Stripper clubs are a massive disappointment to their fathers. I hate you too with what? Yeah, I get you. I gotta make sure you're first of all, take off that rag. You look ridiculous. Let me give you proper attire. Now you're looking proper. You're looking fresh. Now let's give you a job worthy of the uniform, son. Now, we're getting somewhere. Look at him. He's got a new purpose in life, a new lease on everything. It's been a while since I've played Fallout, but why is the Brotherhood of Steel dying in the West but thriving in the East? That is an excellent question. I could direct you to some of my lamentations to talk about that, but let me explain a little bit more why. Briefly. The Brotherhood of Steel, out west, they sort of lost track of some of the rules of their original founder, and so they became very insular. They would very seldom let people join the Brotherhood, and those that wanted to had to go through very rigorous tests to prove themselves, and even then they weren't given full membership treatment. So when they eventually started fighting enemies like the NCR, who could replace their losses, the Brotherhood out west couldn't play the war of attrition game, so they had to go into hiding. However, when Elder Lyons took his contingent out to the east, he started to help people out and opened up the doors to recruitment. So under Lyons, the Brotherhood of the Steel in the east made it so that people could be recruited, and so it allowed for the Brotherhood of Steel to actually grow. So that's why the east is flourishing, because they're seen as a light to a lot of people, and they're also recruiting, whereas in the West, they're seen as a backwards boogeyman that wrecks the economy, and they don't let anybody join their special robo club. So that's a brief synopsis why. Hey Raven, Inspiring Philosophy and Apostate Prophet just had a great debate and discussion on hell and the morality of the existence of hell. Hope you check it out after the stream.
I'll give it a watch sometime.
I'll put it behind a rock.
I respect Apostate Prophet on a certain degree.
So do I. And, ma'am, that's not a bad look, ma'am, but I think we get...
trade alert.
Of course.
Never mind, I need to fix another problem. Out of my way, sweetie. What the actual hell is wrong with you?
I just want to trade a few things.
Put on clothes, please, sir. Now, I have a job for you to do, but never do that again. Just sitting around in your underwear. You're going to be scaring children. Just what was that? Hey, Lark, did the Soviet Union also have a hatred of Jews too? Not quite. Because here's the thing. A lot of members of the Soviet elite actually were Jewish. Like, Trotsky was Jewish. Vyacheslav Molotov, his wife, was Jewish. So they didn't have a problem with Jews in particular. Their problem was that when Israel was created, they actually supported its creation. But then they found out Israel wasn't going to be their little communist state in the Middle East like they thought it was going to be, so they felt betrayed. And so they got mad at Jews that actually wanted to follow the Jewish religion rather than follow the tenets of communism. But that's the thing about Jewish people. It's just like any other religion. You have people of various different ideologies and theologies, because not all Christians agree on everything, not all Jews agree on everything, not all Muslims agree on everything. That's just the nature of the beast. But the Soviets didn't like that there was a group of people that weren't whole hog into communism. Hey, Ray, bro, does he keep stripping? The stripper clubs? Oh, absolutely. What are your thoughts on the Fallout TV show coming out next year? I don't know enough about it to make a decision on it one way or the other. I hope it's good. I know it's not going to interfere per se with any of the game's storylines, and so if it is bad, like I fear it's going to be, then I can just actively ignore it. But if they start bringing in beloved characters and ruining them, like if they touch Joshua Graham and they portray him poorly, I will be very, very upset with them. So upset, I might not forgive them. But of course they don't care. Oh, I haven't set up supplies here. Considering the location, they need to be. Let me head back up to Sunshine to get a guy. Communist L. Indeed. There's a reason why the Austrian painter wanted to destroy the USSR, blame the Juden for communism. Yep. Of course, Austrian painter man wanted to blame Jews for everything, which was stupid.
Indeed.
Because here in the Soviet Union have a hatred of religion. They do have it, but yeah, you see, they didn't look at the Jews as a religion, they looked at them as an ethnic group. And so, when they found out that they were Jews that saw themselves as more than just an ethnic group, like, no, we have a religion. We want to follow our religion, and rather than your communist ways, they got mad. I did that right? Good. Now we can start building up stuff. Hey Raven, thoughts on... Well, you know, we got time for a rant. Hey Raven, thoughts on Sony's Spider-Man 2? Buckle in, boys. This is going to be fun.
Spider-Man 2 is a testament to everything I detest about modern superhero storytelling. I will not play it. I thought about it for a little while. I thought maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe I'll play this game. Maybe I'll just see, because I love the first game. First game was probably one of my favorite hero games I've ever played. One of my favorite PlayStation games I've ever played. So I was like, oh, you know what? I might try this. I might give it a shot. And then I started seeing clips about it, and I saw the ending. You know, yeah, blame me for spoilers, but I wanted to see. I had to know. And now that I've seen the scenes, I've seen the game for what it is, I've seen what it tries to push, I will not touch it. Even if the gameplay is great, I will not touch it. It is abysmally bad. It is abysmally bad. Like this, and here's the thing, people love to say, oh, you don't like it because, yeah, you're damn right I don't like it. I like how you can demean me for my not liking a game just because I take issue with the things you're trying to push. Like, oh, that offends you? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it kind of does, because I am a huge fan of Peter Parker. True story, guys. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire were probably the first superhero movies I ever saw, and the ones I fell in love with the most, because they taught me what it means to be a hero. They taught me what it is to create a hero character, and every superhero that I've written since in any story has embodied at least one, usually all three, of the things that the Sam Raimi movies taught. The first movie was about responsibility, taking responsibility to your powers and to what you need to do with them. And Peter lost his uncle because he didn't take responsibility, so he learned from that. In the second movie, it was about sacrifice. A true hero has to sacrifice the things that he wants sometimes in order to do the right thing. Peter had to learn that. And then the third movie was forgiveness. Forgiveness can be one of the most difficult things you can ever do. And forgiving yourself can be even harder. But sometimes the only way to remove pain, the only way to push forward, is to forgive, to push on. And there are some people in this day and age who would say, oh, that's weak. Forgiveness isn't for everyone. And believe me, I'll get to that. But my issue with Spider-Man 2 is it's trying its hardest to do several things that I don't want. Before I get to the part that really pissed me off, let me tell you the minor things. For one thing, they've removed most of the gadgets from the original game. You still have a few gadgets, but they've changed it to focus far more on fighting mechanics, which is fine. I don't mind that, but I like the gadgets in the first game. Second, they got rid of the suit powers. Despite there being a large number of suits, there are no suit powers anymore. And okay, I get it. You got way too many suits anyway. It'd be hard to give each one a unique power, but I kind of like the idea of trying to get every suit so that you could get their respective power. It made it worth doing. Now it's just like they're all cosmetic. I'm not going to grind to get the suits I don't want, you know? So it's a cosmetics thing. those are minor things. And of course there's the woke pandering, there's the leftist pandering, like the fact that Miles Morales has a literal side mission where he has to help these two high school gay guys ask each other out to prom. Yes, let's distract from the story of Spider-Man to focus on gay pride prom. Let's make Black Cat bisexual for no reason except to just put that in there. Let's just shove all that in, please. Let's just get all that in there. But that's not what got me. That's not what made me mad. That's not what destroyed me. That's not what pissed me off. Here's what pissed me off. The game is very deliberately, very unapologetically trying to push Peter Parker, out of the way as Spider-Man and put Miles Morales in as the main character. It's not just the ending either. The big reveal at the ending where Peter Parker retires, that's not it. It's throughout the game. Parker is constantly punched, bitch slapped around like a rag doll. He is fighting gritty, hard, difficult shit. And granted, I want that in a Spider-Man game. I want him to struggle. I want him to have hardship. I want him to fight bad guys and get his ass kicked a little bit, because that's what heroes are supposed to do. I didn't expect him to be compared to Miles, who, granted, while he gets into his fair share of fights too, he doesn't suffer any real L, does he? In fact, throughout the game, I notice he's constantly bailing Peter out. See, one of my big fears was that Peter was going to go full Venom mode. He was going to give in to the symbiote, and Miles was going to have to save him from it. Yeah, that's essentially what happens. And not only that, but Mr. Lee gets redeemed. Not by Peter's good deeds, but by Miles' good deeds. In fact, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that for a minute. It was in this scene that really solidified how much I was going to fucking hate this game. Are you ready? Okay, so here it is. Spoilers for anyone who wants to play the game. Spoilers. If you do play this game, don't tell me about it. I don't care. But point is, here's what happens. Peter gets the symbiote suit off, but he's still got residue of the symbiote in him that is corrupting him, and so he passes out. He's unconscious. So Miles and Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, they've got to team up to save Peter, because Martin Lee can enter Peter's mind and purify him of his pain, which can help him save Peter from the symbiote. Okay, that's fine. Miles and Lee are going to travel through Peter's head and save him. That's cool. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But along the way, of course, you know that there's going to be some tension between Miles and Lee, right? Because after all, Lee's terrorist attack in the first game is what led to Miles' father's death. And obviously that's going to be a hard point for them. But then we get to the moment where they find the source of Peter's pain. And Lee says, in order to save Peter, I need to pour all of my power into the source, and that will hopefully purify the symbiote. Miles asks, what will happen to you if you do this? And he says, we'll have to see. Heavily implying that he could die from this. So Miles says, well, if this is the last thing I get to say to you, then I need to say this. So he takes off his mask to look Martin Lee in the eye. And here, at this point, I thought to myself, this is it. This is where Miles really comes into his own. He embodies the spirit of forgiveness. He embodies the elements of forgiveness that I saw in the original Spider-Man movies. He's going to forgive Martin Lee. He's going to say, what you did to me was terrible, but I forgive you for what you did because you're clearly a different man now. Or he may even say, I don't know how I can forgive you. I don't know if I even should forgive you, but I'm going to, because I see the man you really can be. I see the man that Peter trusted. The man that killed my father is not here anymore, it's you. I thought that would be the ultimate moment for Miles. But no, he says, and I quote, and I'm not paraphrasing, this is his words verbatim. Ready? I won't forgive you. It's not in me. But we have to do this to save Peter, so let's do this. Not only are those 4 lines completely redundant, he could have narrowed it down to just 2 lines. I won't forgive you, but let's do this. There, I narrowed it down to just 2 effing lines. Not only was it redundant, but it makes Miles out to be a petty bitch. Look, here's the thing. I get it. It's hard to forgive. Forgiveness is a very, very hard thing. It is not an easy thing to do. That's why forgiveness is such a big virtue, because it is so hard to do. That's the meaning of forgiveness. It is hard. It is difficult. So maybe you have a character who just can't forgive his enemy. I get that. You can have a character who does that. Great, that's fine. I don't mind. You can have a character who just won't forgive people. The Punisher won't forgive people. That's part of his character. I get it. That's fine. Why the hell are you making him the guy who can't forgive Spider-Man? See, See, you're trying to push Miles to be Spider-Man. You're trying to push Miles to be Spider-Man. Great, that's fine. But he doesn't embody anything about Spider-Man. No, you ready for this? No, you know what? I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to come back to that point. Let's keep going. So after they save Peter, Peter gets up and he thanks Miles again for like the umpteenth time in the game. Thanks, Miles. I know I've said this so many times that I sound like a broken record, but thank you, Miles. Because, yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Peter thanking Miles for Miles being better than Peter. Oh, but you think I'm paraphrasing? You think I'm over-exaggerating? No. Once they beat all the bad guys, Mr. Lee basically says, I need to go off and make amends for what I've done. And then as he's walking off into the sunset, Peter says, again, verbatim, I'm not paraphrasing, he says, wow, redeeming your arch nemesis? Can't say I've ever done that. Maybe MJ was right. What does this city need me for when it has someone like you? What does this city need me for when it has you? Yes, that's a line Peter Parker said in this stupid story. Peter Parker, the man for who over a decade had been protecting, saving, and keeping the city safe, who sacrificed days, weeks, months, and years of his life for the betterment of this city. What does the city need me for when it has you? What does the city need? I'm sorry, I missed the first game. God, I forgot that game existed. Because clearly the city didn't need you then, Peter. It needed Miles. Because obviously just Miles is better than you. He's better than you. He hasn't had to learn any responsibility. He hasn't suffered any sacrifice like you have. He hasn't learned forgiveness like you have. He doesn't embody any virtue that you held up. But of course he's better than you. Think about this for a second, guys. Think about this for a second. Miles doesn't embody any of the three virtues I mentioned earlier in the Sam Raimi movies. Responsibility. He doesn't embody it. Peter Parker lost his uncle not just because of a gunman, but because of the fact that he didn't stop that gunman. He could have stopped the gunman and he didn't, and he lost his uncle as a result. That taught him responsibility. Miles' father died in a terrorist attack that was not even targeting his father. Miles had nothing to do with his father's death. That isn't learning responsibility, that's suffering a loss. And granted, loss is a thing. Batman suffered loss. I'm not detracting from that. But he didn't learn responsibility from that situation. He didn't learn responsibility. He didn't gain spider powers and do something stupid with them. He gained spider powers and immediately went to Peter for training. He doesn't need to learn responsibility. He's already got it, right? Sacrifice. Peter embodies sacrifice. He has to give up things he loves. He has to lie to his family, his friends, and his colleagues so that they don't know he's Spider-Man. He has to make serious sacrifices. Miles, his mom knows, his girlfriend knows, his friends know. Everyone knows that he's Spider-Man, and they're fine with it. He doesn't sacrifice anything, not even for a secret identity. He doesn't need that. No sacrifice is necessary. So Miles doesn't sacrifice anything either. Even in his own standalone game, he lost his friend. The villain of the game was his friend and she died. He didn't lead to her death. He didn't cause her death. His failures didn't result in her death. Her own failures resulted in her death. And then the third game. And then the third thing, forgiveness. Peter learned to forgive his enemies. He believed firmly in second chances. Miles straight up told Mr. Lee, I won't forgive you. I won't forgive you. I won't forgive you. And again, I say this. If you make a character that won't forgive his enemies, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But Spider-Man believes firmly in second chances. It's a part of his character. Because Spider-Man understood in his personal philosophy that sometimes the only way to move forward is to let go of your past angers and resentments and forgive. Because quite often when Spider-Man wouldn't do that, it led to more problems. Miles straight up won't forgive. So the three primary virtues of Spider-Man, responsibility, sacrifice, and forgiveness, Miles doesn't embody any of them. But what does the city need Peter for when it has Miles? Throughout the game, Miles does all these cute, fun, lighthearted side missions where he helps everybody. He always wins the day. He always saves everyone. He is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's our Spider-Man. He's the Spider-Man we need. Meanwhile, Peter suffers loss after loss after loss, goes through absolutely grueling, difficult challenges and struggles throughout his whole gameplay. Has to suffer under the symbiote, making him an evil bastard that, again, Miles has to save. Of course, Peter asks, what does the city need me for when it has you? Because the game has gone out of its way to make Peter look like a bitch and make Miles look like the real hero. But it gets worse at the very end of the game. At the very end of the game, when you've beaten everything. Again, I'm sorry. Spoilers if you plan to play the game. But at the very end of the game, when you get to that point, Peter and MJ are starting up their Emily May Foundation, which is the big charity that Peter always wanted to start. Spider signal goes off, so Miles runs out to get ready to go. But then Peter says, Miles, actually, we need to talk. I don't know how to tell you this. I mean, I've been trying to... He actually stumbles over himself to tell Miles what he wants to say. Are you kidding, Peter? When were you the shy, awkward, uncomfortable one? This is supposed to be Miles doing that. Miles is supposed to be the one who goes, I don't know, Pete, I've been meaning to tell you, man. I didn't know how to say this, man. He's the one who talks like that, not Peter. What is Peter doing stumbling over himself when talking to Miles? Why not just say what you want to say, Peter? Oh, I'm sorry. No, don't say what you want to say, Peter. Say what your developers want you to say. Miles, you are obviously superior to me in every possible way, including skin tone. Kindly take over from here on out. You are the superior Spider-Man. I bow to you, sir. That's what you want him to say, game developers. Just get him to say it already. But he doesn't need to say it, because luckily Miles, in his infinite wisdom, understands perfectly what Peter's trying to say, and says, again, verbatim, I got this. You spent all this time being Spider-Man, be Peter for a little while. Now, of course, everyone takes it to me, oh, well, he'll be back. Don't worry, we get that answer pretty soon. But then he goes, I'll come to you for advice. And Peter says, again, verbatim, you don't need it. Yeah, you're right, Miles doesn't need it. You know, one of the things is, one of the few follow-up characters to a superhero that I really like was Terry in Batman Begins. You know, or Batman Beyond, Batman Beyond. Like the new Batman, the one that Bruce trains, Terry. I like him. Want to know why? Because he's not better than Bruce. And they make that clear. Throughout the whole show, Bruce never says, you're better than me, kid. Good job, kid, you've really surpassed me. He always says, not bad, kid, but you got more to learn. Or he'll say, could have done that better back in my day. Or, you never heard me complain about that. You know, Bruce always kind of talked down to him, basically saying, you're still a kid, you're still learning, you're not better than me. And we all knew, you're not better than him. Like, we all got that sense. Here, Parker is practically sucking Miles's dick. You're just so good, man. You don't need to ask me for advice. You're already perfect. Why does the city need me when it has you? Fuck! So, he zips off to go do his own thing, leaving Peter behind to kiss Mary Jane and start their happy life together. And you know what? If it ended on that, I might have at least said, okay, well, you know what? Not the way I wanted to end it, but at least Peter gets to live his happy life with Mary Jane, and they get to, be together. But no, we're not done, because they have a post-credit scene, 2 of them, in fact. One showing Norman Osborn going to go meet Dr. Octopus, and they're both planning to work together to create the Green Goblin to get revenge on the Spider-Man. Okay, cool, whatever. But then the follow-up to that is Miles kissing his deaf girlfriend, who, can I be frank for a second? I don't like her. Not because she's black or because she's deaf, those aren't what bother me, but because she's totally useless and pointless to the story. You play one side mission with her where you're spray painting a wall. Because that's what I want in my Spider-Man game. Let's take a moment to spray paint a wall. Screw you, game. Screw you. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So he kisses her, but then all of a sudden there's a knock at the door because some new company's over for dinner. Oh boy, it's Albert Moon and his daughter, Cindy Moon. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Spider Universe, Cindy Moon is Silk, basically a Spider Girl. Yeah, Silk is going to be in the next game, which tells me in the next game they will do one of 2 things. Either one, it will be all about just Miles and Silk being the new dynamic duo, because Cindy Moon is Korean American. We can get a diversity! But Cindy Moon and Miles Morales teaming up as the new Spider dynamic duo. Or the one that I think will happen, this is what I actually think will happen, they'll sell it as a 3-man Spider-Man team, where it's Peter, Miles, and Cindy. But that's a little bit of false advertising, because they're once again going to have Peter sucking Miles' cock and just sucking up to Cindy in every way. Because again, as this game proved, what does the city need Peter for when it has Miles Morales? And now Cindy Moon, just throw some Korean barbecue on that order for me, please. Thank you, and have a good day. Screw this game and everything having to do with its story. And here's what makes me sad. Here's the part that makes me so sad. You ready for this? Here's the part that makes me so sad. I have been looking all over the internet and all over every blog I could, looking for people who might at least agree with my sentiment or at least understand where I'm coming from on this. I went to one YouTuber named Aaron Duke who I used to like, and he was basically making fun of people for their criticisms of the game. And granted, some of the criticisms were dumb, but I listed out in the comment section, I said, here's my problems, and I listed out very politely my issue with what they did to Peter. And people were saying, no, we like that they try to write off Peter. I think that was a good change. I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? You think that was a good change? And it shocks me because everyone's like, oh, it's such a good game. The gameplay's phenomenal. They add so many good things. So many villains. It's so awesome. I'm sorry, it hurt me. It hurt me on a almost physical level. I was almost in tears, and it still angers me to this day. Because here's the thing, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Some games, especially the Spider-Man games, need good stories. A bad story and bad characters can ruin a game. That's why I couldn't play Horizon Forbidden West anymore. I couldn't do it. Because the character of Aloy was so effing annoying. And here I can't play. Even though the gameplay looks awesome, the wingsuit looks cool, some of the mechanics looks cool, a lot of it looks cool, but I can't play it. Because it is a bitch slap to Peter Parker, my boy, my man, the real Spider-Man, who they have replaced with Miles Morales. Why? Not because Peter is passing on the torch in a meaningful way that respects both characters, but no, he's handing it off because, as he said, what does this city need me for when it has you? What does this... That line is embedded into my skull and giving me migraines. There are ways to honor and respect a legacy. There are ways to pass on the torch. Like I said, Batman Beyond does this very well. This is not how you do it. This is because throughout the game we kind of see like flashbacks of Peter's childhood before he became Spider-Man. We kind of see how Peter led up to being Spider-Man. It's very clear what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, oh, well, we're respecting Peter because we want to get rid of Peter. It's kind of like in Sly Cooper 3, when you're playing through Sly Cooper 3, and near the end of the game, you're going through like the Cooper Vault and seeing all the ancient Coopers. You can kind of tell this is kind of an homage, kind of a send-off to the Cooper name and the Cooper legacy. This is kind of a goodbye Cooper legacy. It was fun. And that's what I got from this. It was very much we're trying to send off Peter. And you could have done it well. You could have done it well. You know how you could have done it? Had it be where Peter realizes, my duty goes beyond New York City. I got to join the Avengers. Because they established the Avengers exist in this world. So have him join the Avengers. Go fight around the world. Or maybe he says, you know what, man, after losing Harry, after losing all this stuff, I need a break. I just need a year off. I want to go spend some time. Or maybe have him get married to MJ officially. Have it end with them at a wedding ceremony with MJ. And he says, hey, man, I'm going off on my honeymoon. Think you can handle this on your own? All those would have been fine. I would have accepted those. But to just have him stumble over himself trying to tell Miles, yeah, man, I plan to retire. And to have him say lines like, what does the city need me for? For some reason, it is Marvel's goal to piss on Peter Parker. And people always say, oh, but you know, Miles is a pretty decent character in the movies, you know, in Spider-Verse movies. I don't give a flying ass about the Spider-Verse movies. Because they do the same thing. They shit on Peter. Turning into Jordan Peterson. They shit on Peter.
The real enemy should be a lobster.
Exactly. It's...
But
he's written so well. He's written so well in those movies. I don't care if he's written well in the movies. His existence is a slap to Peter. You want to know why? You want to know the ultimate reason why? I can sum it up with Peter's big line. What's the big line from Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. Why the fuck? And I don't use that word lightly. Why the fuck would Peter Parker, the man who embodies responsibility, say, I can't do it no more? I'm going to hand it off to someone else. It's not like his powers are gone. It's not like his powers were sucked out of him. If that had happened, then I might understand it. I'd hate it, but I might understand it. He still has his powers. He still has his powers. He still has his abilities. Why is he giving up? Why is he quitting? So have him go for Raimi Spider-Man 2 where he takes time off for being Spider-Man to work on his life. You could do that. You could do that. And people are saying you're overreacting. He'll be back in the third game. I hope so. But the problem is, even if he's back in the third game, the way they treated him in this game was so inappropriate. Even if they bring him back for the third game, even if they bring back Spider-Man Peter Parker for the third game, the way they treated him in this game tells me in the third game they're not going to treat him any better. He'll have 2 new diversity hires to suck off. Cindy and Miles. Peter Parker, I'll try to get off my rant now. I've been on for a while. Peter Parker was my favorite superhero growing up. Not the one I wanted to be, but the one I loved because he was a hero to me. Like I said, responsibility, sacrifice, and forgiveness. Every hero I've ever made, Tomiki, Mantis, Tomas de Leon, all of them embody those 3 virtues. Responsibility to your powers, sacrifice for the greater good, and forgiveness of the people who hurt you the most. That's why I love Peter. That's why I value him as a character. And to see what they've done to him. To see how they treat him. I don't care if you want to make Miles Morales a new Spider-Man. Go for it. That's fine. I don't care. He can be a good character, I'm sure. But not at the expense of Peter. And that's what this whole game looked like to me. An obvious attempt for Miles to step over Peter. Because Miles doesn't get any of his own villains. He has to borrow Peter's villains to beat. Miles doesn't get any of his own real depth to this game. In fact, you know what? Not only does he save Peter, not only does he redeem Mr. Negative, one of Peter's villains, a man with personal connection to Peter, but he also is the one who saves Harry's life. At the end of the game, when you finally free Harry from the symbiote, like removing venom from him, the deed basically kills Harry. It stops his heart. While Peter is bawling his eyes out over the loss of Harry, Miles walks over and uses his electric powers, yeah, he has those, to jumpstart Harry's heart. So yes, you heard me correctly. In this game about Spider-Man, supposedly about Peter Parker, Peter gets his ass kicked constantly, becomes evil due to the symbiote, and requires Miles to save him constantly. Meanwhile, Miles wins every battle, helps out the LGBTQ community, helps out his local neighborhood and everyone else, and even saves several of the main characters, including a villain. Again, they have done my boy Peter dirty. So, in answer to your question, what do I think about Spider-Man 2? I'm not particularly fond of it, to put it mildly. I will not play it, and I will always be outspoken against it. And if anyone out there wants to tell me that I'm just salty, or that I'm just a Peter fanboy, or that I just can't handle Miles because he's black, you know what my response is to that? You're right. You're 100% right. I can't stand Miles. I can't stand him because of what he represents. Not because he's black, but because they're using his blackness to somehow make him better than Peter. You're telling me you can't make a black hero who learns responsibility, makes sacrifices, and can forgive? You're telling me you can't write a hero like that? Are you that stupid, Hollywood, Marvel? Are you too dense to figure out how to do that? You could say, oh, but he was so good in the movies. He's so well written in this game. The fact that he exists at all, the fact that he was written at all, tells me everything I need to know about the motivations of the writers. They're not writing him to be an homage or a good character or even a sidekick. He is the new blood. Before we even got a real chance to appreciate the current blood. Screw Miles Morales. I can't say screw Cindy Moon yet. She hasn't done anything to offend me yet, but trust me, I'm sure that'll happen in the third game. And screw Spider-Man 2. Screw it. Good gameplay does not redeem a game from its evils. So yeah. That is my rant. I apologize.
No, here I'm all here. I'm here for it.
No, I'm sure, but sometimes I get a little passionate. I get a little passionate.
And what would life be without our passions?
And I want to say this too. I want to add this too. If you have bought the game or have played the game or want to play the game, please don't let my rant stop you. If you want to play it or you enjoyed playing it, power to you. Glad you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy it. I mean that genuinely. Genuinely, I mean that. But for me, I won't be playing it. You would have to pay me a lot of money to play that game. Hey Raven, was this the Spider-Man game where they had the pride flag over where there was a mod somewhere made? Oh, that was the first Spider-Man game.
Though they do have a lot of that back. However, the Saudi Arabian version of the game, all of that.
Apparently, I've heard that in the second Spider-Man game, like in this new one, because the first game got a lot of flack for Peter helping out the cops. In the second game, apparently the cops aren't present. There are just no cops in the second game.
How the?
Yeah, because they don't want him in it.
Pander into the wrong crowd.
I think the reason they made Miles Morales, I'll be honest, is because when they asked Stan Lee if they could take over writing Spider-Man, he said, "Yep, but the rule is Peter Parker must be white, male, straight, and Christian. Those are the rules. You have to keep them that way." And they got upset, like, "What? You mean we can't?" Nope, those are the rules of Peter. You can't change them. And so they decided to make Miles because their whole goal, they even admitted in an interview, was we wanted to try a biracial Spider-Man. No real desire to explore a new story or new character directions. Just, we're going to make Spider-Man, just make him biracial again. And then once Stan Lee was nowhere to be able to stop them, especially once he died, they just said, okay, now that he's gone, push Peter out, put new Peter Darker in. And I'm sure someone's going to take my rant and say, you're obviously racist. And if that's what you honestly got from my rant, then I pity you, because truly only a man with less than 2 brain cells to rub together could come to that conclusion.
I appreciate your trust.
Well, for the first time, it all starts with 2 ways of humanity on some
No wonder NYC was in such a bad state they removed all the police. There you go.
Sorry, got a little bad there.
The whole time I was telling myself that he had to love me, even if it was just
Great, no cops, despite Miles' dad being a police chief.
Now, of course, I can't confirm or deny. In none of the clips that I saw were there any cops that I noticed, but it wouldn't surprise me, because I remember that was a big criticism of the first game. People saying, oh, it's pro-police. Well, yeah, I wonder
Spider-Man's
why.
always been pro-cop.
Spider-Man's always helped out the police.
Mm.
If it makes you feel any better, they fucked Miles a bit by using a Cuban flag instead of the Puerto Rican flag in Miles' home. Yeah, the problem is they're fixing that. They know they messed up, so they're fixing it, they're patching it, so.
Shows how much they do their research.
Well, what it shows to me is not about their research, it shows me that they don't actually care. See, to me, if they really cared, they would have done it right the first time. If they actually cared about their agenda, why on earth in the Middle Eastern copies of the game do they remove all the LGBTQ stuff?
Because they just want to, they think.
They want what's profitable.
Yeah.
They want the profit. They don't actually care about the representation. But yeah, that got good. I need to stop before I go off on another rant.
Yep.
Yep.
But how are you doing, Kate?
Yep. Trying to do the big country. Yep.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Can't remember the last time I heard a good yep. I always heard Hitler invaded USSR for oil and were so surprised by their initial success they ended up making terrible decisions. So good if they didn't. He threw away the war. Okay. Because they want money. Yes, Shark, I agree with that.
Yep, and as for Hitler and the USSR, they were surprised by their initial successes in Poland. They thought that went quicker than they thought. Same for France. The Soviet Union, they ironically thought they could steamroll, but the problem is they took too long in certain areas, and we started supplying the Soviets.
Justice to me.
Anyway, it is almost 11.
Nah, it was Justice, Kate. Yeah, let me finish this conversation with Kate, and we'll call it.
All right. Raven Lark wise, diversity being forced down our throats is I don't mind it, but as long as it's done well rather than checking the box. They're forcing it because they think it's profitable. They think it'll give them ESG scores and they can take that to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how much they push Miles considering how mediocre his comics are. Yep. Well, aren't you just, hey Raven Lark, what do you think about a game like GTA, but instead of present day, it's during the time of the Prohibition, you play as a mafia member? I don't really care for GTA in the first place, so.
I believe it's Mafia 2.
Yeah, Mafia 2, that sounds. Have you seen the show called Storage Wars? A lot of yups in that. Yeah, I have seen that. So they're going to yup. And if you want to do it right, you got to begin with the E. Like you can't just go yup. You got to go yup. Because if you do that, it sounds like you were just caught off guard by something like yup. Like it's a rhythm.
We're flirting with the Irish chick.
Ha.
Alright, well, we're going to have to call it there, but we've made considerable progress despite the railroad screwing me over. I'm going to have to find a mob that'll just let me have the ballistic weave instead of me having to jump through 90 different hoops. Alright, so let's click that. And we are back. Out.
From outer space?
Yep, so, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a blast hanging out with you tonight. I appreciate Raven coming in and entertaining us all with a rant, but we will be back. We'll be back with more surprising stuff with the new For Honor mode tomorrow night.
Yep. Tomorrow I will be playing the For Honor. I don't know if I'll do the new game mode. I might. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't confirmed with anyone if they're going to join me or not, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, we'll worry about that tomorrow. I'm very tired right now, so we'll call it there, guys.
Well, thanks for